Alright. So, last stream we were going over some OpenGL stuff, trying to get a renderer up and running, with mixed results, but we have the shader stuff all going on, and it's fine. It technically works, but I really need to actually handle things like windowing and a bunch of other stuff too, right? So if I'm going to be able to handle rendering, I need to figure out exactly what it is that needs to be rendered, right? And at the bottom level, at the baseline, what needs to be rendered is, like, we know that scenes need to be rendered, but more importantly the elements within the scene needs to be rendered. And that is really just the what is it, the entities, right? Entities need to be rendered, and ideally we would have a list of a bunch of entities that need to be rendered. They all get packaged together, sent to the GPU, and rendered. And that, to me, sounds a lot like a system. So, in all actuality, rendering needs to be a system. But we have a bit of a problem with the way that systems are currently handled, and that is that we have it's all static. And what we need is to have the scene needs to have its own list of systems, right? So we need to make sure that you know, instanced architecture of system, right? And then we need to figure out exactly, oh, hey, I got a new follower. I got a new something. What just happened? Something just happened. Oh, Sadal Pop, Sadal Papa, blah 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 blah. Your name, yes, you. Hello, welcome to the stream. Kind of curious. Where did you come from? Did you come from r/Starforge or r/VTuber? Or naturally occurring out in the wild? Which I doubt it was naturally occurring, but hello and welcome to the stream. So if I'm gonna make system, well, I think what I really need is, if I came from searching at programming and coding. Oh, hot damn! Wow, you found me out in the wild. That's cool. I like seeing that. Well, since you found me out in the wild, what is your least favorite programming language, and why is it Java? So I think what I want to do is have the system be, I think that scenes need to be, right, I think scene needs to inherit from an ECS environment, right? In ECS environment, or maybe a context, or yeah, environment, an ECS environment. You don't have a least favorite, yet I'm completely new to it. I would suggest do not start off with C++, or maybe do. C# is a lot of fun to learn. It's really nice. There's a lot of things that you can transfer from C# into a lot of other programming languages, like C++ or even Java, or just about any of the other languages. You can transfer a lot of the ideas from C# into other languages. So I would say it's like a first language. I would go with C#. Originally I was going to use C# for this project too, but working with OpenGL with C# is a colossal pain in the neck that I didn't feel like dealing with. And since I'm doing a game engine, I might as well use C++. It's better by like a lot, or at least it can be a lot better. It does make certain things a little bit more difficult. You have to keep in mind that C++ is... You did have some interest in at C#, yeah. C# is really good. C++ is all about manipulating memory. That's really what the language is built around. So you do have to be very careful with C++ because you can very easily mess up a lot of things. So that is a thing to keep in mind. C#, it's a lot harder to mess things up. It's a lot easier to make safe code. It's kind of built into the language entirely. So that's always a good, nice little thing to have in mind. So I think I will have a class ECS environment. Yeah, no, not a problem. And if you have any questions about anything programming, or what it is that this project is about, or tips and tricks on how to even get into programming, or even how to teach yourself how to program. I'm entirely self-taught, and I've been making games for like 15 years using pre-built engines and all that stuff. But so if you have any questions, do not hesitate to ask, and I will do my best to answer in a good way. So I do need to have if I'm gonna have a system, right? See here in this operator overload, we have this issue. Where is it? The addition and subtraction operator overloads between entities and component structs, which I'm not super pleased with that. With the component struct being its own type, and then component being like the container. Nice, good to hear. I'm not super happy about this syntax. The syntax seems a little bit funky to me. But one of the biggest things here is that the logic in here is that we have... This is kind of written assuming that component structs are static. Right? Because it assumes that systems are static. And if we don't have, and if systems are not static, we would either need to pass in a reference to what system instance we are dealing with, or we need to make components instanced, right? And, or at least part of it, right? We already know that since this is an instance type here, at the component struct is instance, we can have the component struct could have a reference to the ECS environment, the empty component system environment, because the component structs themselves, you know, you do have like a static instance of each of these. This does make, yeah, let's take a look here, because we have the static all indices here. I mean, the component, you're only going to have one type of component, right? You also have these things here. This is an unordered map, and in the constructor for the empty component system, right, for the component struct, right, the all indices is a std vector of std unordered map pointers, and that handles everything, right? And this can be static. And I think each of the component structs can also be static. Doesn't really matter. Which means that what we need to have is somewhere in here, now the entities, we need to have a, I was actually thinking of learning Python first, and once I got that down I would learn C#. I will say that Python is my second least, I would actually say that Python is my most hated programming language of all time, even over Java, and I despise Java. Python is aggravating to work with. It is. From the perspective of someone who is very well and thoroughly versed in computer science, especially like lower level stuff, like I even understand how like assembly works. Like I don't know assembly, I don't know x86 assembly, but I could look at some assembly and I can understand what's going on. I can at least read it. So Python is I hate working with Python. Just white space having syntactical importance is baffling to me. I don't understand why everyone and their mother loves it so much, to be honest with you. I feel like Python, if you learn Python first, you may fall into some really bad habits. Learning Python, it's an excellent tool, don't get me wrong. It's great for writing tools, but as like a programming language, it's really frustrating. It's very easy to do things, and yeah, I don't like it. I really don't. Var context. Oh, there should be a pointer. Bam. So this oh. Hold on. But if this these do, okay, so component also, so this gives a interesting point, right? We know that the component struct needs to have a context. Now these. The actual... Someone is streaming Java. I'm not surprised. Yeah, I mean, Java's fine. I'm actually related to the person who paid the people who made Java, and I despise Java. He would be rolling in his grave right now, probably. But oh damn, yeah. Now his that anniversary was yesterday. Nah, you're fine. You're fine. Yeah. Nah, I'm not a fan of Java. I'm not a fan of Python. I just feel like the lack of syntactical sugar and just the way that the syntax works is very frustrating to work with. And project management can be very difficult with both of them. Yeah, I mean, as a cross-platform, programming language, it's wonderful. It's really even outclassed by, it even outclasses C# in cross-platform support. It's compile once, run anywhere, which is super nice, and even C# doesn't really have that. It kind of does, but having a .NET runtime environment work properly on different machines and having one binary run on multiple different platforms is very difficult to achieve with C#, whereas it comes out of the box with Java. So, as with any programming language, it depends on your project, it depends on what your goal is. So I don't know if component needs to be, yeah, because I think our goal is artificial intelligence. You can technically do that with any programming language. However, once you start getting into the academia of it, you're going to be running into Python quite a bit. A lot of it is written in the context of Python. So the fastest path towards getting artificial intelligence up and running would be Python. But if you want to understand the underlying principles behind artificial intelligence, it may not necessarily be the best way, because you'll just be following tutorials and you get something working, but it's very likely that you'll have no idea how it works. But converting it into a different programming language will kind of force you to understand how everything works. Let's see here. Return size 2 bits. Yeah, this returns. That is a pointer. And those are. Okay, so I have two options. Either A. I have. Noting all this stuff down. Yeah. I mean, and everyone will have a different point of view on it. Because your journey will look very different from mine. Like, I've dabbled in artificial intelligence too, or at least I've looked into it. I'm always fascinated by new computer science stuff. So I have a little bit of knowledge with artificial intelligence and how it works under the mathematics behind it and all that stuff. And I even have my own architecture that I've kind of been working on paper at least, for quite some time, but I haven't had the time or energy to really sit down and test it. Because my wheelhouse is video game development, so yeah, I think the best way of doing this is to do this, and then do that. A member with an in-class initializer must be const. Okay. Oh, that fixed that. Because static. I don't think these need to be static either. Okay, so I'm thinking that the way this is going to look is that you have an instance of components, a component instance, and you have also not super happy about the set being an entity either. I feel like there are plenty of ways of this, because you have, what is indices? An unordered map? How hard is it to find? Right? Because I feel like there are different ways of handling things, right? Because in here we have this. I don't know, that's something that I might think about. Well, that's kind of growing on me. Things I don't like. I don't like keys holding data. I don't like that entities are holding data. I don't like that. Because a true entity component system, entities don't hold any data. They're just an ID. And in this case, I am expressing that in the form of that the entity ID is just the integer representation of its own pointer, because pointers are essentially immutable, and you know you don't move information around pointers. You know, you allocate the space, and then you have a pointer to that space, to that location in memory. My shift will be starting soon, so I'll come back some other time. I really enjoyed the stream. I'm glad that you liked it. Hopefully you can stick around for a little bit longer next time. I stream on Wednesday nights and Sunday nights at this time. So hopefully I can see you in a couple days. So I feel like, yeah, I don't like that entities hold information. I'm sure there's other ways that I can rewrite this. Okay, so component needs to be, yeah, you'll definitely see me Wednesday. Glad to hear it. Well, I guess it'd be Wednesday, or like Wednesday night, Thursday morning, I guess would be the most accurate way of saying it. So, depending on your time zone, it'll either be Wednesday night or Thursday morning. Because I stream on the Dateline at midnight. So I guess I need to go in and system remove these. Yeah, it's Thursday morning for you? Okay. Yeah. So I guess right now it's Monday morning for you, so I'll see you on your Thursday. We can get rid of these. I can get rid of these. It's incomplete type not allowed. Ooh. These are static. So the component changed. Which means that these need to be component text ID. So these things definitely need to be might have different ways of handling this. For instance, I could do the same thing that I did with components with the constructor. Right. Where is it? Yeah, the init struct. And then the initializer array would be very useful if I can pull that off. Right. And the component struct. Okay, so I have to completely figure out the init list needs to be a thing, and so does the update list. It also needs to be a thing. Could do a vector and do this kind of automated system of pushing the system structs into it, which means, you know, we have this whole thing here. We also have this whole problem here as well. Because we can't handle these systems, the init and update. Alright. Okay. Because init list is also not happy. It's technically an incomplete type. So I also don't exactly like the fact that it would be very difficult to append things in here. Right, so I could do an std vector of init list. Right. And then I can also do an std vector update struct. Right. And then I can fix that. Right. And in here I can get rid of this. And this is also, well, I can do this in here. Public. I'll do system here, and then in here be system. Right. I'll do init list equals std vector of type init struct this. Right. Init list is undefined. What do you mean init list is undefined? No, it helps if I actually capitalize it properly. Well, actually, I think I'm just gonna do I'm gonna remove that. That'll be fine. Because I was able to, right up here? Yeah, I was able to just initialize it in there just fine. So, the vector of init struct, and then here I'll do std vector update struct. That way these get initialized immediately, so we don't have to worry about any of that stuff. So in here, I also need to have a GUI jam that has the which means that I can name them. I can name them. And in naming them, I need to yeah, I can have that. I can create initializer lists, which I think should be fine, because it'll just kind of automatically handle these. Alright, yeah. Yeah. Let's take a quick look at initializer lists, shall we? Let's get out of that. C++ initializer lists. When do we use initializer lists in C++? Okay. Point use of initializer list is optional, as the constructor can also be written as blah 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 blah. Okay. Get x, get y, point. Yeah, y equals I, x equals I, y equals 1. Yeah, y equals j. Test t. Just int t, return t. So you can do that for initialization of reference members. Okay. But this isn't really helping me very much, is it? Just control right bar. Okay, BBA. Okay. Have these class members. Okay. T const return I. Yeah, that's fine. I. When this pointer must be used, above the constructor must be written as. Okay. Assuming that type is an already declared class and it has appropriate constructor and operators. Okay. Type A variable A. X A char prints void prints base void prints using form be using uniform initialization with brackets. That would be Okay, so you can do those. Yeah, because it would call the doobly-doo with the jingle jang, which means that I want to have that. Right. Which means, oh, that's the wrong one. Evening. Hello, Axis Nova. How is your night/morning going? So how are these going to be working? Because what I want is something along the lines of let's see. Yeah, because what I want is something along the lines of system, you know, physics is equal to, you know, components dots position components dots, well, component dot position component dot velocity component dot. Not bad. Glad I remembered to check your stream out after you posted on Reddit. Thanks. Yeah, I'm glad you're here. Acceleration. I'm glad you can make it. And then I'd want this to be something along these lines, right? Because then this would be, well, dt would be entity e double dt. Well, I guess I wouldn't need that. Yeah, I wouldn't need that. And then here, you know, we have, you know, e dot pos, well, e components pos. That would be velocity plus equals, you know, e dots e components acceleration times dt e components dot position plus equals e component dot val times dt. Well, this is dt on 2.0. And then this is e at components dot val plus equals e components dot acceleration times dt divided by 2.9. I want something along these lines. Well, what happened here? Oh, got a space here. Are you programming your own engine? Yes, I am. I am programming my own engine from scratch in C++ and OpenGL. So I want the syntax to be something along these lines. Right. This is my desire. Well, actually, this would be an update struct. An update struct physics equals blah 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 blah. Which means yeah, because all this stuff is working like that, right? We're only creating this stuff right here, right? From here to here. So what's happened? So I should be able to just do that, right? However, but or would it be? Would it actually be like that? No, it wouldn't be like that. Because what's actually happening is I need to make it a type, don't I? Nice. I am a strange sort of in-between in understanding. I have a limited knowledge of a few programming languages, but I wouldn't say I know what I'm doing in any of them. I still find it interesting. Well, yeah. None of us knows what the hell we're doing. Like, none of us, trust me. We're all just fumbling around aimlessly. And making shit up as we go along. So I actually feel like this would be physics is a derivative of update struct. Right. And this would be a struct physics for that. And then here we would have, you know, your comps equals something, right? So you'd have, well, you would have, just like any other computer science field, Mamau, got it, yeah. Yeah, no one actually knows what the hell they're doing. It's just kind of one of those things. So what is actually going on here? So we have the context. Most I've really done programming is some PLC and SCADA HMI stuff, but I'm an IT guy. I'm not entirely sure what PLC and the other stuff are. First time I've heard of that. Took classes for a bunch of others though, yeah. I'm entirely self-taught, so let's see here. So how is the ACS environment going to work? Programmable logic controls? Oh, so like robotics, I'm guessing? Because if so, that's pretty dope. And very easily convertible into game development too. SCADA and HMI are interface controls. Okay. So, like, robotics and stuff. I'm guessing. Let's see. How in the hell does this all work? Yeah, I used to set up panels for water, wastewater, power plants, etc. Damn, that's nice. That's impressive. I just work at a gas station. I would love for this to actually be my job. It controls all the equipment, which could be robotics. Gotcha. So it's all just robotics. Just, you know, when you're talking about a wastewater plant, it's the robots are operating spillways and other things like that. Gotcha. It's all basically just the same crap. It's just the actuators are either, you know, 2 inches big or 2 yards big. If you understand this, PLC programming would be very easy for you. I mean, possibly, potentially, I don't know. It's a possibility. I did do robotics as a kid, as a child. I was into robotics quite a bit. And then I discovered the wonderful world of video games, which is, it's it can be a lot of headache. So we know for a fact that that the different structs need to have different things. We also know that there needs to be some kind of context, right? So we need to have an ECS environment pointer for context. I've been dipping my toes into Godot. Yeah, Godot's great. Godot's kind of incredible. It's super nice. I would love to learn Godot, but you know, I'm building my own engine, so I might as well use that instead. just saying. Oh, also, which subreddit did you find me in? I'm guessing r/Starforge, I'm guessing. Yeah, I'm guessing you found me in Starforge. Yeah, gotcha. Yeah. I would use an over-the-counter engine, but I feel like for a game like Starforge, spooling up my own engine is kind of necessary. Kind of like if you take a look at, say, like Factorio. The problems that you come across with like building a game like Factorio, you really do need to write your own engine. Even something like Stationeers or Space Engineers, they also use their own engine. Just because what is necessary to make the game hold its identity, you really can't do it in another engine. I feel like that's part of the main reason why Starforge failed originally, is because they were trying to smash Starforge into Unity, and that's never going to happen. The problems that you'd come across are far too difficult to make the engine work properly. So, and it also gives me freedom to do a lot of really cool things that I have in plan, that I have in store. I just need to figure out how the hell to make this work properly, because I'm not entirely sure. Because I feel like I want to I did make my own VTuber model. I used free software for it. It's on Steam, like V Studio or something like that. I can't remember what it is. Yeah, there's a free VTuber model. Yeah, it's like VTuber Maker or something like that. I can't remember what it was. No, it's not the camera. It's actually my mouse and keyboard inputs. Because I use VMagic Mirror for my output, because it's also free and I have no money. So yeah. Oh yeah, no, it's super nice, especially for programming. It is really cool. I'm really digging it. It's super nice. Okay, so this system. Oh wait, I don't think the update struct needs to have access to the context, does it? Or does it need to be? No, it doesn't need to be there. It needs to be here? No, that's not it. Oh, that's my Twitch. Whoops. Yeah, I think yeah, I'll make another thing here, I don't care. Yeah, because the context needs to be a thing. Because when you make the stuff, does the system need to be in the does the system or the... Oh no, you're fine. You're not distracting me too hard. This isn't exactly a trivial... This isn't as trivial as I thought it was going to be. I thought I was going to be able to make these changes super easily, but I was incorrect in my assumption there. Because there's the component strut. Need to have context, or does the components need to have access to the struts? To the context. Does the component need the context? Because if the component needs the context, what changes then? I'm probably not gonna get this working again, this string, but I think it'll be fine. Oh, nothing's mad, so I'm okay with that, I guess. Yeah, constructs. All indices, component all indices, but that is no longer static. It is not static. The component struct itself needs... Yeah, because all indices is no longer static. That's not gonna be good. Which means that whenever you create a component struct, you need to be able to pass in the context in some form or another. It could just be either a reference to the containing component or a pointer to the containing component. Right? Because the struct itself doesn't have... Because it can't do this. It would need to be... What? Oh yeah, no, my chat's popping off this stream. I'm real happy about it. That's great. I love talking to chat. I don't care if they're distracting me a little bit. It's fun. It's a fun time. That's why I'm here. Huh? You're sorry in advance? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Also, my chat says hi.
Hello.
Yeah, that's the wife. So. Okay, so what does the environment need? Well, the environment needs to have a component pointer, components, and there'll be a system pointer, systems. Definitely needs those two. And the environment also needs to be the environment also needs to have an ECS environment. Needs to have a thing. No, she is not a programmer, but she did go to class for IT. Yeah, so she's computer tech, I'm the programmer. So between the two of us, we can still break anything. I swear the two of us should just work for Riot.
No.
We could fix. We could fix their game. It's such garbage. Yeah, we tried. Also, the person in my chat is also an IT person.
Oh, cool.
And they did. They worked on programming things for like water treatment plants and shit.
Cool.
So they worked on real big robots. Very big robots. Yeah. IT and other such things. Which I think is really cool. I feel like yeah. Basically. And other stuff.
Don't ask me where I got that.
Turd herder plants.
My stepdad used to be a turd herder. What do you call it?
Yeah. Yeah, so I know that system needs to have a context, and it creates it. It needs to set it. Earth is a lot more fun. I was a network engineer in the Air Force. Then I moved into the middle of nowhere when I got out. Lol. What the dude? Bruh. Yeah, we live in bumfuck Egypt and Texas, so I had to find something sort of applicable. Yeah. I know that it can be very difficult for service members to find jobs in their field once they leave. My dad was electronic reconnaissance in the Air Force, and he wasn't able to get shit when he got out of that. Oh yeah, no, like, oh, you went to IT? Here, have a job in fucking McDonald's.
That's what my counselor wanted me to do, and I'm like, are you freaking high?
Yeah, no.
They didn't find me anything in my field at all, and I took 3 fucking trades.
Yeah. I took small business management, drafting, and fucking machining, and they couldn't find shit for me. It's just really disappointing, because I have some... Yeah. Yeah, go work at Mickey D's as a... you know, some very impressive trades. Yeah, oh yeah, I don't blame you for not wanting to be a defense contractor.
Oh no, that's not fun.
I mean,
that's like
maybe if you were Marines, sure, but not as Air Force. Not as a network engineer in the Air Force. Yeah, fucking Tony Stark. That's not a fun time. What the? How the hell am I supposed to do this shit? I know it's possible. I mean, if it wasn't possible, we wouldn't have. I guess people can't see. Find the accept button. It's the hardest champ is the accept button. Most tech. Most happy champ is none. Yeah, the other wife's playing League until I'm done with my stream. And I'll be joining her. It's an addiction, I tell you. It's a fun time, especially with Earth. And good luck finding the need for network and encryption in Midwest America, Cornfield, USA. Yeah. Yeah, no, we moved down to Texas from Wyoming, and there was shit up in Wyoming. Oh yeah, no, the job prospects are way better up there than down here. You're banning. You should probably ban someone. Fizz. Fuck Fizz. Let's see. So, system update. Component changed. So, entity, prompts count, entities, insert entities, entities, blah blah blah. Yeah, all those are fine. Probably. Slightly. Yeah. Nah, but it's fine. It's not like I'm a super mess. One. Yeah. They found me on in
Reddit?
Yeah, Reddit. Yes, my friends scare me off League Lamau back in the day. I'd join the voice channel and they're just screaming at each other. Yeah, no, that's pretty. Yeah, that's part of the reason why we don't do voice, and we also don't play ranked, because fuck ranked, dude. It's so bad. It's so toxic. Even normals are toxic as hell, and that's unranked. Yeah, she's just playing the rotating game mode right now, which is Earth, which is ultra rapid fire. All the cooldowns are like set to nothing, and you don't use mana, so it's just spamming your abilities, and it's just absolute chaos the entire time for 15 minutes. It's great. So I need to have the component changed, which needs to update the stuff, but like the biggest problem that I'm having here in the current state is making the entity component system not static. Like, it's super easy to make it work with static entity component system. Super easy, barely an inconvenience. I mean, this ECS is incredibly simple. It'll probably even out here, especially if you do like a few games. It'll probably even out. Oh, that's pretty bad. So making it static is super easy, but making it instanced, which is what I'm gonna need in order to have the scenes work properly, because the scenes need to be stacked on top of each other, not only for rendering, but also just because like say that you pause the game, right? That would create a new scene, which will have the pause menu, and that needs to be able to halt the scenes underneath. And the only way to do that is to be able to separately select the... Yeah. Maybe... I doubt that. Maybe after this game restart the PC. It usually helps me. So, I mean, still, but when was the last time that PC's been restarted? 140, that's not good, but it's better. Oh, 400? No, I was looking at the FPS. I mean, at least it's Earth, it doesn't really matter. Do you keep... Oh, fun. Do you keep this all in your head, or your tasks, or do you take notes as you go? I know it's different for some people. It's kind of a mix of both. When I'm at work, I kind of go over what it is that I need to do next, and kind of walk through how that needs to happen in my head. Like while I'm at work, just rambling on to myself like a crazy person. So it's kind of a mix of both. Like I have like in the Git panel over here, I have notes like down here, and there's like notes all over the place in my code. That's fun.
Real bad.
Yeah, you should ping your ping.
I have.
It's just like, I can't play. Good for you. Sorry that I'm playing like shit. I can't help it. Yeah. No, yeah, that's fun. Yeah, so... Yeah, it's kind of a mix. I like to leave notes to myself because I will forget things. But I also kind of plan in advance to figure some stuff out, and that's kind of held in my head. And then like when I come back to working on things, I'll jot things down. Having good documentation is important, not just for people using your software, but also for yourself. Because whenever you're making a piece of software that's going to be used, you have to make it with the understanding that an idiot is going to be using the software. Even if it's just yourself, you are that idiot that's going to be using your software. So, you know, because you will forget how your own shit works. Yeah. So I think... Oh yeah, no, that's just how it goes. So I think the system would hold the context. The init struct would hold the crap. And then you would have... Are they going to be singletons, or are they going to be static? Right? Like, do I want the... Should this be static? Yeah, that's pretty bad. Because should all indices be static? Because in the event that the components because how's this gonna work, right? Let's go into the tester, right? Because let's do some pseudocode here, right? Right, because then you'd have something like a scene, you know, scene 1, right? Have that. You create a new scene, and then in this scene, you know, you'd want something like scene 1 dot spawn. Well, you'd create a scene, you'd have like an entity player, right? Well, actually, technically, the way that it would work is that you'd have something along the lines of, like, say, scene 1 inherits from scene, right? Maybe? Because then you can have other things, and then you'd also have, say, class player would inherit from public entity, right? Because in here you'd have player, you know, you'd have, you know, this plus, you know, yeah, components, you know, position, this plus components, well, you dereference this, right? You dereference component, velocity, this plus components, acceleration, you know, this plus, what else would you do? You do something like, you know, components, sprite, you know, sprite, can I spell sprite? I guess. Oh, Moonblaze 001. Thank you for following. Do something along these lines, right? Oh god, all of these, none of these are gonna work. They don't have these things because all these things are doing that stuff. Creating a game engine? Yes, I am. Wait, what is her score? 12-0? Jesus Christ. Are you going for what Starforge should have, could have been, or something inspired and improved? It's kind of a mix of both, right? Because Starforge was originally toted around as being Minecraft meets Halo, and I always thought that was a really cool idea. So I'm going to be kind of focusing on what makes that concept work really well, like what parts of Minecraft make Minecraft Minecraft, and what parts make Halo Halo. Also in the context that, you know, what makes Minecraft Minecraft. Mama, it's a lot of experience. I'm not good at any of the coding stuff. Oh yeah, they are Earth. That's cool. Yeah, I have quite a bit of experience under my belt. I've been making games for 15 years, so that's a thing. But yeah, so I'm saying that, like, the greatest parts of Minecraft that I wanted to uphold is that everything you see you can have. Everything you have has a purpose, and every purpose is multiple, right? And on the Halo side of things, it's you are in the middle of a war and you are tiny. You are tiny and insignificant and isolated from the entire rest of the conflict that's going on. But your actions may have a very wide and lasting impact on the greater conflict. So my idea is that it would take place on a ring world. Not only is it just cool and looks incredible, but the idea that you could look up into the night sky or even during the day and be able to see the geography of the entire world that you are playing in would be incredible. Like, you could see a peninsula on the other side of the ring and you could go there and explore that area. Seeing the day-night, you know, the day-night line, the date line creep in real time you know, move over the world would be super cool. Going with voxel or wave function collapse or generation, or are you modeling the world? It'll be procedurally generated. I think something like this would kind of work best with procedural generation. Also, the worlds are going to be real scale. They're going to be planetary scale. The diameter is going to be, what is it, like 80,000? Like 80,000 kilometers, I think. Slightly bigger than the diameter of Earth. So there's no way that I can model that myself. And it's not going to use wave function collapse per se. There's going to be certain aspects of wave function collapse that are going to be used with the generation model. I'm actually going to use Diamond Square algorithm for a lot of it. Potentially for like the height map generation. And it'd be like this recursive fractal kind of system to create biomes under certain parameters, and those parameters would affect how, like, the roughness of the height map and other further parameters to fully model the like the height map, which the voxel generation will be a smooth voxel. So it's continuous voxels instead of discrete voxels, so more like Space Engineers rather than Minecraft. And the base building would be discrete. However, the base building voxels are going to be more of hard surface, convex hulls. I might have some concavity in there too, depending on how much of a pain in the neck it will be to have both of them. And the rendering algorithm that I'm going to be using is going to be inspired by Wolfenstein 3D, along with some other extra added stuff. So more old school id Software rendering techniques. I'm going to be using the power of the graphics cards and graphics APIs to fully, you know, handle that kind of stuff. So yeah, and I've figured out most of it on paper. Most of the algorithms are already figured out on paper. It's just getting there and figuring out how to make an entity component system that's instanced rather than static is apparently kicking my ass right now, so yeah, it's a thing.
To be honest, it was wrong that it took to get a triple kill on us,
Mhm.
and we almost had her dead. She just all types trash.
No. I don't understand some people why they shit talk in a for fun mode. But I love you. Yeah, that seemed like it was a cost pain in the ass. Yeah, but yeah, I'm probably going to be doing some wave function collapse for the subterranean sections. The ancient architecture. Yeah, for some of the ancient architecture, the totally not Forerunner structures, stuff like that. Like, there's going to be a lot of motifs that are going to be similar to Halo, because it's a lot of motifs that are just in science fiction in general. So it's not like they have a, you know, strong, I don't know, it's not like they have a stranglehold on ancient alien artifacts or anything like that. That's all over the place. Even with Ringworlds, it's not, they don't have a monopoly on it. One of the earliest science fiction novels was called Ringworld. So, taking a page from benevolent, hyper-intelligent architect of the post-singularity simulation we all live in. John Carmack. Yes. Yes. John Carmack got his technomancy degree from the College of Winterhold. I'm pretty sure that's why half of Winterhold fell into the ocean, because he left and destabilized the Bethesda engines. So yes, Ringworld, Larry Niven. I wasn't expecting someone to actually know that bit of trivia. Yes, absolutely. That Ringworld is a Dyson ring. I want planetary scaled rings. They're more interesting to me, and actually feasible to actually explore than a Dyson ring. Would not be very good from a game design perspective. It wouldn't be very interesting. It would just be a Minecraft world at that point, because the size and scale would be so large that it just wouldn't be interesting. You wouldn't be able to feasibly go to the other, parts on it, and pre-generating the actual height map and rendering it would be impossible. It just wouldn't be feasible. So I think planetary scale would be much more interesting from a game standpoint. Has one of my favorite ideas in storytelling. Oh, do tell. Might actually be good. Oh yeah, it's too big to realize it's a ring. Yeah. Yeah, this guy is cool. They did. Yeah, and I feel like playing on a ring world, it would have to be small enough to realize that it's a ring. Otherwise, it would be kind of lost on the player. It's for things like that. Scale is very important. You want it to be big enough to feel lost, and small and insignificant, but it needs to be small enough to understand, to viscerally understand exactly what it is that you are in. Yeah, Axis Nova. So, and I think planetary scale, Earth size, is a very good in between. It's like the perfect kind of size for that. Let's see, components. I guess technically these guys could be static. If these are static, it could be that, but if that's static, this would also have to be static. Static. Yeah, if inline static, the puppeteers bred different traits into all the species they came across, kind of manipulating them. He asked what they did to humans, and he tells them about the genetic lottery. B, so they bred luck into some human. Oh, that's cool. That's interesting. That's a really fascinating point in storytelling. It's just a neat concept that luck could be a cultivated trait. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a thing in Halo even. Like John 117, he's special because he's lucky, he never loses. And I think that having a game where you don't start off as the main character, because you're the main character before Halo even starts. Like, you play as the main character of the entire story, and I feel like having a game where you go start to finish and you become the main character is far more interesting to me. Because I was having the idea that there's like the global counter of allied forces, and every time you die, you spawn in as a new person, which may kind of defeat the whole purpose of having a character creator, but you might, I mean, I could just kind of write it off as each time you die you could create a new character with a new background and stuff like that, and just kind of can pick up where you left off. I don't know if I'm going to stick with that, but it's an idea that may be interesting. I'll just have to think of feasibility and gameplay mechanics wise if that's going to be a good idea or not. So I think having static instances of these would be important. Which, if these need to be static, all indices also needs to be static. So components are static, but the context is not. So you can still have an instance of a component. And can I do a similar thing with system? I cannot, because the init list and update list and render list all need to be instance, as well as the context and the system itself. Which means that why not a clone or something? They could have some deviation and maybe only so much could be recovered from the previous iteration if you wanted to have some sort of progression. Possibly. That's definitely something to think about. I was thinking that the story of it is that you and the enemy forces crash land on one of these rings, discovering the ring, and also you have to fight to survive. So there are other survivors on the ring. And you could, throughout the game, gather more and more survivors to create a resistance force for exploration, and at some point you could have like a command room and essentially turn a first-person, crafting survival game into an RTS, where you can command troops from a centralized location, and having, drones and stuff up in the air as your, as your map scans or whatever. Yeah. So you just jump to another survivor, and I was thinking that you would jump to another survivor that's at a similar progression as you. It wouldn't be like exact, so there'd be like pre-built structures at different stages of survival that would kind of progress alongside you as you meet certain hidden milestones. Then if you die, whoever the next survivor you jump into is at roughly the same progression status as you are. So if you already have a structure, then they would already have a structure. Things like that. If you already have a base, then it would be one of the other survivors at your base. And then you can go out and retrieve your body and find stuff like that. I think that would be a really, really neat idea. It'd be very similar to, like, say, Star Wars Battlefront, the old school Star Wars Battlefront, where there's a predefined number of units, and then once all the units are dead, then that's when you lose, kind of thing. I think that'd be a lot more interesting than most other respawn mechanics, because then you don't have to, like, there's a little bit of a hand wavium, and just convenience sake for convenience sake. It could be that whatever the next, character customization is supposed to be just all about, maybe like an echo of you guides the survivors. Could be your looking for your physical body. Something like that. And it could be, I mean, I could do a little bit of mysticism. Little bit of mysticism in, you know, science fiction is always a lot of fun. Let's see. We have the system init, so all these are going to be in the update list and entry and suspend JSON. So how then do we have this? Have you played Warframe before? I played a little bit. I didn't get super far into it. I don't know anything about the lore. So, copy of that's return .comp. I'd hate to spoil something. I'd hate to spoil something awesome. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna play it very much though. Warframe. Because we like played a little bit of it and then like stopped playing. You played, yeah. I played a little bit. Yeah. Let's see. Aww. So we need to have a component pointer and a system pointer. And the system needs a context. And the component needs a context. And when you have the update the component changed in here, you would do what now? Component changed? Well, you call it, but when do you call it? You call it in here, but it's not a static thing. It would be context systems component changed, and also here you do context systems component changed. Alright, yeah. Because I feel, yeah, because each system is in charge of its own list of entities. And it also means that all this needs to be completely changed. Because here you have to do oh. Yeah, that's a thing. Wait. Comp dot. Wait, that's the component struct. The component struct doesn't have access to the. Oh. You can't find any control. No, that's Chonies. And it's a mess. Okay, well, so several hours into the game, you go and you recover a body during the story mission. You have to protect it and you carry it out of the mission while being attacked. You get it back to the ship and then it's revealed that you just saved your actual physical body that has been controlling the Warframe remotely. And it brings up a character create. Oh, that's cool. That's dope. That's pretty sick, actually. So here, this is a thing that is strange. The entity may need to be having access to some stuff. Alright. Because the entity need access to... Oh, this is a small thing, it's not a full set. Yeah, I guess something along the lines of like what Warframe did would be kind of cool. And I guess everything we needed in context. I guess even entities need context. Which I don't quite understand. Oh, but I don't need to dispose of that because the context will outlive the entity. It's fine. Yeah, because the context will always outlive the entity, so I don't need to destroy the context. I can just set the context to, you know, I can just do context equals p pointer. Right, I can do that. Just as a little bit of cleanup. And component is first. Entity. Inline entity. ECS environment pointer CTX. We'll just say context equals CTX. Yeah, you can just do that. Which means what we can do is ECS environment CTX equals EC. Well, I can do that. Right, yeah. And this is CTX. Well, actually, this is the address of CTX. Alright, yeah, alright, yeah, alright, yeah, alright. What? Why is it not letting me do that? Equals CCS environment. Yeah, oh, okay. Well, that's cool. CTX. And then it would be CTX dot systems dot init. No, well, it's not that. It's that. What? No. That's systems. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that's how it's supposed to go. And this is CTX dot systems init. I do believe that I will be changing a bunch of things here. It's a good idea to record yourself doing this a couple months down the road. You can be all like, oh, what the hell was I thinking while I wrote it this way? And then go back and review the slow-mo. Yeah, I have every single stream archived on YouTube, and also I've been creating highlights of every stream on Twitch as well. So everything's archived. CTX.systems. Yes. Hopefully I won't need to do it that way anyway. So this is all just a colossal nightmare, because I don't even know if any of this stuff is even gonna work. It's probably not even gonna compile. Like if I build everything, well, for one I have to build it twice because everything's dumb. Yeah, identifier not found. ECS.H line 89. Contact system. Yeah, the operator isn't going to work. Because I need to rewrite how the operator works. It would be it'd be e.context systems. Well, e.context systems. Yeah, it's e arrow context. Oh, e.context. E.context. Context systems component changed. I think that's how that works. This should now build. Use of undefined project build. I think it's the same thing. FFE tester ECSH 89. Well, I can do that because I don't have a constructor for that. Alright. Oh, Half-Life 3 confirmed. I broke programming pretty hard. Yeah, that's what happens when you build your own engine from scratch. So, use of undefined type. What the hell? Do I need to promote this up above entity? That's moderately frustrating. Build solution. Do you find doing backend in React easy after doing low-level game engine stuff? I have absolutely no idea how to do React. So I don't have any... I do not have an answer for you on that one. I've never used React. So use undefined type system. But if I promote system, above entity, then entity is going to be a problem. But I think I just need to do that, and then that should work. Failed. Tester. Let's see, what was unresolved external symbol? That's fine, I do believe. Because I think it's still gonna tester object link fire lib. Okay. What? Unresolved external symbol. Why is component text not doing that? Because component, that should be static. Does this need to be inline? Does this need to be inline? Because then it will automatically initialize it? Potentially, maybe? Question mark? I would assume that doing a bunch of backend stuff may be more... It might be easier to manage after doing low-level game engine stuff. But I personally just don't have any interest in React or other backend stuff. Of course. Empty line 86. Comp line 131. Unchecked begin line. What the hell? Why are you throwing a runtime error here? What's going on here? Line 66. Where's line 66? Line 66. Test plus components. Right? Yeah. That's fine, I do believe. Line 131 and the operator. 131. What's going on here? Return comp data comp cce.id. Structs. Huh. That is line 131. I think it should be line 130 instead of line 131. Because this is going on in the component change line 86. And that'll be ECS line 86. Yeah, this is in a for loop in the init list. Unchecked begin. So why is that happening? Oh, it's because it's empty. Yeah. There's nothing there. So, of course it's not going to do anything. Let's take a look at system. Yeah, so that's doing that, so it should throw a runtime error. Due to the fact that the vector is empty, because I don't have a way of creating the actual systems. Because the systems need to be done very specifically. Alright. Let's see. Yeah. Static. Prints. I should be able to do an initializer list. It's text.id. And then in here would be, and then this is an entity. An entity reference E. How did I do this? It was in here. Yeah, dereference it, copy it. Now I'm gonna say E. Yeah, and this should compile. So I should have these things, and it's also nicer that I have print, because then it makes it a lot easier. 2 succeeded. Build again. 1 succeeded. Build again. 2 up to date. Local Windows is better. Let's see. Oh, and it's still throwing a damn error. Some witch. Unchecked again. What does that mean? No discard const expansion pointer, no accept. My pair, my val first. My first. Do believe that there's something else going on here. Alright. Because what's happening? Yeah, it's going on in the operator. And that's line 143. Return comp data, comp indices, EID. Because the component is static. Right? I mean, the component is static. Should be, at least. All indices. Oh, but it doesn't have... No, it should be fine. Where is this plus happening? Why is this going on? Yeah, I have no idea why this is happening. Because it's throwing an error in context, right? So let's take a look at component changed. Like, why is it for auto system in a netlist, right? Because again, I don't have a thing that's yeah, because what's happening is in here, these guys, the init struct and component struct aren't, the init struct and update struct aren't having any init structs and update structs. Need to have these two. So system init structs. These need to have. Oh wait, but it's the. Ooh. The context. because the struct needs to have access to different things, and not to mention, well, actually, because if the system is doing its own thing, the system is having a thing. I think you're focused on your output window still. Yeah, I forgot to close that out. I just forgot to close it. Yeah, because whenever this comes up, yeah, okay. So there's two things that I really need to figure out on these things, right? So let's take a look here, right? Let's create a new list. Yeah, this is like getting towards the end of my stream anyway. So for one, we need to fix system instancing, right? And in here, here, how do we fix the instancing, right? Because the init list, because the yeah, it's almost 3 AM. I'm trying to power through a few templates before I go to sleep. Yeah. Because the biggest thing here is that, right, like in here, I want to be able to use but the print system can't be. What I actually want is that print is yeah, print. I don't want to do this. Yeah, this needs to be okay. So systems need to be child classes. That's gonna be a thing I need to change. And then I think the other stuff, I need to be able to fix the fix ECS environment instancing. This should be components and system instances, not pointers. I think that's gonna have to be the way it goes. Ooh, artichoke. Alright, I think that's gonna be the end of it here. So I'm gonna end the stream here. Hope to see you guys Wednesday night / Thursday morning, depending on your time zone. Because I stream at the same time. Stream like right on the barrier between those two. So see you in a couple days, couple nights, however you want to look at it. And hopefully everything will be much better next time around. I might work on this off stream a little bit. So hopefully next stream should be a lot smoother going. Depends on if I get around to it. So have a good night. Yeah, hope you have a good night.